Ladies and gentlemen, my name is SUBRATA. I'm a mechanical engineer working in manufacturing industry since last 22 years. Today I'm going to discuss the topic. This is a case study basically how Kingfisher is closed down. Kingfisher was one of the largest and most widespread airlines in India, and they also operate outside of India. But due to the lack of management and resulting in financial crisis, Kingfisher Airlines was finally closed down on 15th February 2012. They had Kingfisher had 66 aircraft, 70 destination, and 394 flight per day. So from that you can imagine how big was this aviation industry, this Kingfisher. It was second largest airlines in India for some period of time. So being such a big player in aviation industry, why the situation was so worst that this Director General of Civil Aviation ordered to Kingfisher to this give a payment to all employees, such type of things, and government also scrap all the flight slots for Kingfisher. How this situation came into so bad actually for such a big player having so much of resources, that I'll share the important points. And why actually then finally Vijay Mallya need to go to London after this overall things were totally messed up. Now before going into this, get into this technicality of the topic, let's have some basic introduction of Mr. Vijay Mallya's family. Vijay Mallya was the son of Mr. Vittal Mallya, who was the former chairman of United Brewery, and his mother was Lalita Mallya. Vijay Mallya's first wife was Samida, and their children are Siddharth and Laila. And the second wife is Rekha, and their daughter is Tanya. Now, in 1983, Vijay Mallya inherited 19,000 crore business after the death of Mr. Vittal Mallya. Then he, at the beginning, say 10, 15 years, he was, holding the business in a very nice way and doing progress. And after that, lot of lavishness and everything comes, and finally results you all know. And Vijay Mallya was, referred as the Richard Branson of India, sometimes liquor baron or the king of good times. I would like to share who was actually Richard Branson. Richard Branson, by personality, by profession, by business, is very similar to Mr. Vijay Mallya. Richard Branson, is an English businessman. He is the owner of a company called Virgin Group. This is an aviation industry, having 55,000 employees and 25,000 billion US dollar company. So you can imagine how big was that company. It is also still there. So from this photograph you can see this Vijay Mallya and Mr. Richard Branson was very much similar by nature, by business, by profession, by style and lavishness of life. This Vijay Mallya, this flamboyant image is basically actually, you can see all actions of Bollywood, all top models of India, they were all, somehow get into the Kingfisher Airlines, Kingfisher beer, and all these things. And Mr. Mallya was also very much busy with all these things rather than this conventional, this business or corporate house handling. Now, this why Kingfisher was so famous actually as a airlines. One of the reasons is the luxurious flights were all new actually. The Kingfisher when started business, all the flights were new actually, very luxurious. And foods, what they serve actually, this is called full meal. It's a very, you can see this, the Kingfisher standard full meal at that time. And this, hospitality, the quality of the air hostess, everything was top actually as per the luxuries. And people are getting this all facility in parallel with all of the other domestic competitors of the service. And to make the service better, Vijay Mallya was himself took the interview for the air hostess so that a right candidate can be chosen. Now, actually, this Kingfisher Airlines, this mismanagement turned into a scam. The company was not a scam from the beginning. It was as good as other companies. But when things were not getting managed, then this mismanagement turned into a scam. Vijay Mallya never kept any managing director for Kingfisher Airlines, neither any CEO for a long time. And when the things were, in the very worst condition, then later, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal came into the picture and joined in Kingfisher as a CEO. But the situation was so pathetic at the time, it was not handleable actually. Everything was uncontrolled. So finally, he was also resigned. In Kingfisher Airlines business, every business there needs a business model. That business model is very important. How the strategy and all these things. But in Kingfisher, business model was totally absent, and highly presence was the female model was there very much. So that is one of the reason actually why Kingfisher is closed down. He was this every time he was busy with the other things. You can see in this picture. And one of the major wrong decision in the business was taken that this acquisition of the Deccan Airlines. Deccan was one of the lost leading airlines. Till it started, it never seen the face of the profit. And Kingfisher acquired this Deccan. This is a bleeding organization actually. So that was actually one of the wrong decision. And after acquisition, they renamed it as Kingfisher Rail. So public were totally confused. What is this Kingfisher Rail? Is it there's a low cost carrier or a full service carrier? People are totally confused. And this brand was look-alike, very look-alike. You can see this. You can't, very difficult to distinguish even which one is Kingfisher, which one is Deccan. This Kingfisher Red and Deccan. So there was a problem with the look-alike brand is very dangerous for any organization. Either one brand would kill another brand. This is very simple actually if you not strategize your business. So that was the actually very much wrong with Kingfisher. This look-alike brand was making totally confusing to the public. Actually what they should have done, this Kingfisher can be the international flight and this Deccan can be a low cost domestic flight. So then they can get the customer for both the sides. But it was killing brand rivalry was came into the picture actually. This Deccan and Kingfisher was this killing each other's customers actually, and customer also getting confused. What is Kingfisher Red? What is Kingfisher? What is Deccan? So they shifted to other service provider like Indigo, SpiceJet, etc. And in your aviation business, this operating cost is very important. And operating cost is one of the sector like staff cost and all these things. I'm giving a small example how the way other the other companies are addressing their cost reduction in operations. For example, Kingfisher, you can see this both male and female this staffs are there. So when after the flight they're given for some hotel accommodation, so they for one boy and one girl, so and obviously there are to book 2 rooms. So this is a part of the costing. Now for the Indigo, you can see all the staffs are female, so in one room they can share 2 girls. So I'm just sharing a small point, so how people can reduce their operating cost. But Kingfisher is not at all bothered about all these small things actually. Neither they have done this cost reduction, and their ticket selling was going very decreasing. And at the time, there's 2008, this recession hit into the world market actually, and as a result, this aviation business was going in under huge losses for all the companies. And as Kingfisher was already in a in a down position, so they were unable to get up actually then on the end. You know, for your understanding, this for aviation industry, the 35% cost of total operation is the fuel cost. You can say this pie chart. And in 2008 to 11, after during this recession period, this dollar price is going up, and the fuel price is going up like anything, and this aviation industry was or in a very very bad situation actually. And this aviation business, if your 75%, actually 75% seat occupancy is the break even for any airlines. This is the standard actual business model. Means if your 75% seats are not booked, for sure you are running your business in losses. That's for sure. And as Kingfisher, this passenger were reducing like anything. So it was just impossible for them to further running the business, and every day they are losing like anything. And altogether Kingfisher took this 9,000 crore loan from different Indian banks, and State Bank was number one, the 1,600 crore. Actually, there was no focus on the airline business from Vijay Mallya. You can see he was busy with some other things actually, while he used to like these models and all these things. You can see in this picture, you can understand. Now, actually, there are three strong points actually why Kingfisher was closed down. One is the wrong business calculation, wrong expansion like Deccan and international flight routes, and the third was mismanagement. These are the three actually reasons why Kingfisher was closed up finally. I've done a small short analysis for Kingfisher Airlines. Short analysis, these are strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Now, if we discuss about the this strength of Kingfisher, all the flights are new. There's a brand image on the Kingfisher brand is an unmatched flight service and exclusive terminal sharing. This was the strength of Kingfisher. And weaknesses were service are very expensive and yet to break even. So if they are running business under losses and a high attrition rate of the staffs actually, people are leaving Kingfisher and joining some other else areas actually. So these are the actually basically weaknesses. Now the opportunity for Kingfisher was the international market was there, untapped cargo market was there, and expanding tourism industry, that was one of the area, and route rationalization, that was the opportunity for Kingfisher Airlines. But the threats were like existing operators like other jet, Indigos, etc., infrastructure issues, fuel price hike at the time, and this economic slowdown. That was the threat actually. So all this all together actually, this Kingfisher was closed down finally. Now there are a few suggestions for Kingfisher. If they could do all these things, they might have done this business good ways actually. The business can be saved, rather I can say this, if they remove flight from the there's low frequency routes, or they try to bring down the cost per flight. Actually they were not taking care of this small cost and cost per head, like improve passenger revenue per head and all these things, and try to focus on a small aircraft. Actually they have got a bigger aircraft, so it was very difficult to fulfill this 75% passenger, all these things. So these are the things actually they could have taken care actually, so that their business can be survive actually, rather I can say. So if you like this case study, or if you find some business sense in these presentations, you can subscribe this video by clicking on the bell icon. You can share this video with your friends. Thank you very much for your attention.